Hi, I'm Susan and welcome to my channel. Today I have an exciting video for you. You see, today is the first day that I am going to a bead show in well over a year and a half, probably. I haven't been to a bead show because of COVID. So today I have an exciting video for you. I am going to a bead show. It's a smaller bead show, but there's a few tips I have for you. It can be overwhelming and you're going to see that in this video. There's so much to buy. Always walk through your show once. Check that you see everything and then decide to purchase. Number 2, keep a budget. I always keep a budget. I keep a tally on my phone because if I don't stick to that budget, I will lose it. This is not the place you want to lose it. You can go hog wild crazy and go broke. So just be careful about that. The other thing is, remember, most of these vendors don't have the same stock and inventory at different shows. A lot of them don't sell online. So if you leave that in the comments, how come they don't sell online? They just go to shows, they sell bulk beads, they're not beaders. So if you ask them bead questions of herringbone stitches or any other stitches, they don't have a clue of what you're talking about. They're just not beaders, they're bead sellers. They can tell you the size, they can tell you the color, they can tell you what they have, what they don't have, but they can't answer beading questions. So that's one thing that a lot of people complain to me is they don't know what I'm talking about. Right, they just sell beads. So whatever you buy, if you see something that you really, really like and you're questioning on, always buy extra on that, because I have had too many times where my friends have said to me, I only bought 1 strand and I don't have enough to finish. I always buy 2 strands of something if I really like it, because I can't afford to not have enough. Sorry about my puppy snoring. I was going to film this at the show and then I thought it's probably going to be too noisy there. I'm probably going to have to do a voiceover on the video anyway, so I thought I'd do this before I go. But anyway, it's so much fun to go to a bead show. The other thing is, bring a tote bag. I use a tote style purse because you'll get all these little bags from different vendors, and if you end up looking at something, you put your bag down, you forget about it. They don't know it's your bag. They don't know who to give it to. They usually don't notice it till the show is over or you're long gone. You don't notice it till you get home. And then sometimes if you live an hour away or if you've traveled for the day, they're gone, you're gone, and you've just lost all your beautiful beads that you were treasuring. And the other thing is, there is a small fee to get into most of these shows, between $3 and $10, depends on how big the show is, that they will charge you to get in the door. So you want to really be prepared of what you're going to buy, because coming back tomorrow, if you've got to pay that fee again, that could have been $10 worth of beads or $3 worth of beads. It all adds up somehow to me. I try to get it all done in one shot. So think about what you're going to purchase before. I usually keep a list of things that I need. If there's certain colors I run out of, sometimes I will have just a little wire that I keep them on so I can remember, oh, I needed more of this color, and I'll just leave them on that wire and bring it with me as a list, because sometimes you can find them, sometimes you can't. It's a come see, come si at these shows. There's never a guarantee, but they're so fun and so inspiring, and I just love looking at beads and touching beads, and they inspire me. So I'm hoping this video, if you don't have any bead shows in your area, will just inspire you to bead. So I hope you enjoy this, and let's go to the show and shop. Now, as you walk in, there's tables and trays of beads. And I'm just going to go through them briefly, but up close, because I really want to give you an idea. You can see those beautiful garnet colored beads. These are all natural stones, and so these can be quite pricey if you're just starting out. These can run $45, $55 a strand. Look at these beautiful coral beads. They're huge too, probably like a 14 millimeter. And you can see all of these stone beads. Look at these turquoise beads, all the different sizes and shapes. These are all the natural stones. Let me reiterate, the garnet, these are my most favorite. Ah, I just love these. But these garnets are beautiful, but all these natural stones are absolutely gorgeous. I always come over and pet them, but they are really expensive. Look at this carnelian. Oh, what a beautiful stone. You can imagine those in a necklace, just even as a pendant piece. Look at these gorgeous amethyst. But these are really high-end stuff, and if you're just starting out, unless you're just beading for yourself, these are really hard to recoup your costs. There's some beautiful tiger eye. That's rather inexpensive. And this is dyed agate. This is actually quite inexpensive, and one of my favorite things because I like these fantasy colors they add to them. These are not the natural colors, they would probably be all white. But you can see all these beautiful stones, and these are some tiger eyes, and these are dyed tiger eye. They can be rather inexpensive that you can work with. If you're just starting out, sometimes, you know, $50 a strand can be overwhelming, and you want to be able to get more bang for your buck. So you don't have to start out with the high end, you can just use the lower end. Look at this table. I just want to give you an idea of the expanse of the table. You can see all these different stones and fabulous beads. Sometimes I just get excited touching them and looking at them. Watching a video like this excites me enough to want to go bead. So don't feel like you're missing out if you're not here. Now these are just some plain glass beads. These are actually my least favorite only because they don't have any cuts in them. They're kind of ordinary. The only way I like these if I have multiple strands of them so that I can really get some feeling from them. I prefer some cut beads. These are ceramic beads that have designs on them. You could make polymer beads very similar to this and incorporate them with some of these plain beads would be very pretty. Because you can create your own beads, you can add these kind of plainer beads which are a little bit less expensive and kind of jazz them up. So don't be afraid to add those less expensive ones. You don't always need expensive ones. These are cloisonné beads. These are really beautiful. They're all handmade enamel beads. They're a little bit heavy, but your polymer can lighten them up, so they're just something neat to add to your polymer. I love these. So different. I love adding different artist beads to my work. And then these are some natural strands. And I hope I'm not going too fast here. There's some mother of pearl. I always love mother of pearl. Look at these kind of balls or pearls of mother of pearl that's cut out. But my favorite are these little hoops here, because think of putting some beads inside of that. You could make all sorts of little pieces and fit them inside. That would be really neat for a necklace. I like the odd beads. And then here's my favorite pearls. I always get excited when I see the pearl section. And even though I'm not buying any pearls today, I just feel happy touching them and sharing them with you. And look at these gigantic glass pearls. Really pretty. The only thing is with these big glass pearls, they get very heavy very quick. And I try to avoid that and fill them in with some like wood-filled polymer beads as a breakup, just so that you don't have a 5-pound necklace. Now here's one of my favorites. These are top-strung flat pearls. So if you notice they're flat on one side, these are great in bead embroidery. A lot of people pass these up because they don't know what to do with them, but in bead embroidery they lay just perfectly flat, so they're just one side popped up and they look really beautiful. Oh, pearls, my favorite thing here. You can see just pearls, pearls, pearls. I absolutely love pearls. These are usually too expensive to include in your work if you're selling them, unless you have some high-end pieces. But for me, I find that they're worth just adding a few to a piece, because some of these can be $200 a strand. So when you're wondering why somebody's charging so much and they have some freshwater pearls in them, that's the reason why. Here's some biwa pearls up in the corner here. Yep, there's the price, $240.50 per strand. That's not the hank. That's that one strand that I'm laying down is $240. That's why I'm saying these can be really an investment to add into your work, and you have to add that cost into your price. So it's kind of challenging if you don't have the kind of clientele that will fit that, but they are spectacular. I do love pearls, and I love all these weird Baroque pearls. They're so unique and so interesting each on their own. And here we've got some coin pearls. They're quite beautiful too. Anytime you get these larger pearls and the more luster they have, the more expensive they are. Yes, $54 per strand. And you can just see all of those pearls. How exciting. And here's another vendor that has some handmade paper beads. They're really quite beautiful. She says that she gets them made in the Philippines, and these are all covered with like an iridescent glaze, and some have like a brighter glaze on them. Each one is different, which makes them truly unique. Really interesting. Now this vendor also sells online, so I will put her link below the video. I will have all of the vendors below the video, but not all of them sell online. Just look at these green ones. They've got like an iridescence to them. I just wanted to get them closer to the camera so you could see like the pink ones, the purple ones. They're all beautiful, and they all have like a resin coating on them. So they're very light, like polymer clay, and yet they have a brilliant shine. Of course, I had to bring some of these home because they're so different. Just, I love the colors. And they're big. They give you a lot of bang for your buck. I know a lot of people make their own paper beads, but I always like to buy different things from different artists because I really just prefer to specialize in my polymer and buy these from other people. She also has these wires that were 12 gauge wires, so they're pretty thick. Not really a wire worker, but these were really pretty wires. And then she also has some plates filled with shorter strands of beads that she creates herself, which were really pretty. And I like to incorporate different things into my work. You'll find that the more you incorporate of other beads, the more interesting your work can become. Here's some bracelets that she's made using her 12 gauge wire. And then she had another table that had some smaller ones for earrings. I thought those were kind of neat. They're nice and long. I could see some really neat chandelier earrings made with these. And then she had some more smaller paper ones. Really nice stuff. This was Madonna beads. And as you see, I like to hunt through to find that special color. The white ones are very pretty, but I go for colors. And here there were some really interesting beads. He had these gold beads that were like filigree. He has these alligator heads that I think this is a keychain or something, but they could make some really neat tassels. And here's some of those gold filigrees I was talking about. Really pretty, interesting beads. You don't find this stuff online. You really need to go to shows and touch and feel and see what talks to you and what's interesting to you for you to use in your work. And some of this can be quite costly, so you really want to go to a show to pick out the pieces you want. Look at these lapis pieces. They're huge, like boulders, and here's some smaller pieces you can use in your bead embroidery. They usually sell these by the carat, so you pick out which one you want and they weigh it. And then here you can see these are all natural stones. These strands can be $20, $30 a piece. These didn't have any prices on it. I was trying to get some prices out and they were very busy. So here, there's the onyx for $30, just to give you an idea. That is one strand. That is not the whole hank. So you can really spend some money on these stones. These are emeralds. They didn't have any price. Really beautiful though. You can see the sparkle involved in those. The natural stones are really pricey. I like to use them in my own work. These are chips. Sometimes I don't like these chips because they can be sharp on the edges, but they have such good color. You could always use those in bead embroidery. There's always a way you can use all of this stuff. Here's some really beautiful cut bone beads. This guy had some really interesting stuff. Look at these beads with some pewter on them and these stone in the middle. I thought they were really beautiful. Even if you don't buy these, they just give you ideas of things to make. Here's some natural amber, which is basically fossilized tree sap. The inclusions in the amber are so interesting. They all are different. Nothing is alike. So sometimes you'll find a piece that just really talks to you, and other times they just don't do much. But every time I look at things, I get new ideas, and it may not be related to polymer clay. Look at these ones. They're stones, and they've got pewter end caps. Some are quite elaborate, really pretty. And you'll find these bone beads. Look at these turtles that are all hand carved. Really fun. And I love these little filigree hearts. They're so delicate. Just different ideas you can get just looking at beads and seeing all the different shapes and colors. And here's some just natural crystal beads. Really look at the sparkle. I didn't realize how much the sparkle picked up on the camera. Some more natural pearls and some natural lapis. You can see there's just oodles and oodles of beads here, and I think these are African trading beads. I'm not sure. Quite pretty, the black and white. Now here we are in the seed bead section, and this can be completely overwhelming if you're new with seed beads. You can literally go broke trying to buy one of every color. So if you're trying to decide which colors to buy, I prefer to buy these iridescent colors. They seem to be a little bit busy, some people think, and they're kind of intimidated by them, but I find they go with everything, and they give a little bit of a vintagey feel to some of your work. And if you're just starting out, the silver and gold can be very expensive if you're going for the gold plated or the silver plated or even the perm finish. And it can be a little bit garish, where these are very soft in color and they really go with a lot. They really are my favorites. I always make sure I have lots of these in my stash. You can throw these in with crystals, pearls, your polymer beads, everything, and these will seem to go together. Now, you can get these in every size. I just didn't want to go pick up every size and bring them to show you, because I think you can get the basic gist that these AB colors really will dress up all of your pieces. And here you can see there is just rows and rows and racks of seed beads. So you could go literally broke just getting one of each. You don't have to invest into one of every tube. You don't have to have every color. You can pick out the colors that are your favorite, the ones that talk to you, that you tend to make beads or pieces in those colors. And here's bugle beads, the much forgotten, much unloved. I love bugle beads. And I love these AB gold ones because those seem to go with a lot also. I try to stick with the AB colors just because they pick up a lot of the colors that are around them. And here are the size 15s, the little devils to some people. These are the worst because threading the needle's so bad. They, of course, are my favorite because they're the worst and the most tedious. And this show, unfortunately, had a lot of spotlights to make everything look bright, but it kind of didn't work with my photography. But I wanted to give you an idea of how much is at a show. So when you see this type of bead selection, yes, each one of these are a different shade. This can be overwhelming. And that's why I say stick with maybe the AB selection if you're just starting out, or if your favorite color is purple and you do all purple pieces, stick with that. Stick with what you love, because if you're looking to do this to sell, you might go broke. You might as well just buy what you like. And when you make what you love, it always comes out nicer. Look, there's so many colors, it's unbelievable. When you look at how many seed beads there are and how many shades, look at all these beautiful pewter beads. You can incorporate these in with your seed beads, your polymer clay beads, anything. Just different styles and sizes and shapes. And because they're pewter, you don't have to worry about them tarnishing like silver ones would. And on the other side, they've got another selection. This is all at a very tiny show, so you can imagine if you went to a large show how much you would see there. And then there's some brass findings and some gold findings. I love these round ones. Once again, you could put some beads in the middle. Do some, even briolettes, if you don't make polymer clay beads, would look really cool inside of those. Just different ways you can use things. And over here are the demis. The demis are like a half of a size 11 bead. I haven't really played with these yet, just because I think they're more for bead embroidery, and I have so many 11s that I just don't see the point. But I do like the larger ones. They're more like a size 8 cut in half or size 6 cut in half. And those are really neat in bead embroidery just for texture if you put a size 15 in the middle. And here are more of the size 15s. These are the sterling silver and the 14 karat gold and the copper and some of the metallic beads. Now the metal beads are very heavy, but they have a larger hole in them. And then we're going over to this table. This is sort of like a bargain table of less expensive beads, and he has some really interesting beads, you know, these strange shapes. I like the colors of these. I like the little skulls that he has. Kind of fun. You can incorporate them in different sizes. And these are pretty much dyed howlite and pressed beads, but they're very pretty and the colors are really beautiful. And if you're incorporating them with your polymer clay, they'll look gorgeous. Just think of these skulls, if you mix those up and things, they could be really pretty with some flower beads. And he's got all these crystals, crystal bicones. These are larger bicones. Here's some really pretty crystal balls. They're so pretty, but you can see all the colors and the availability that you have at a show. These are really neat. They are like mother of pearl pendants, and I could see where you could incorporate some polymer clay on top of those, or put them in a polymer clay frame maybe with something on top of it. And then he's got all these little shaped beads, almost look like toys, and I never thought of baseballs or soccers, but I'm not really a sports person, but just an idea for some of you that are. All sorts of crazy stuff. And he also has these bags of beads that this is something you only find at a show. It's a bag of just strands and strands for a mixed price. And then he's got bags of he's got the 11s and 2-hole beads. So if you want to buy the whole bag of them, if you're really going to use one color quite a bit, they're awesome. There's also finished jewelry at some of these shows. Here's some rings that are like they're sizable rings, all done with different stones and stuff. So sometimes I always treat myself to a piece of jewelry. So there's lots of things at a show that you don't expect also, different types of things. And here's some more beads, just another table with all these stones and stuff on it, just a different angle. I wanted to give you a idea of how big the tables are, and this was a smaller show. So sometimes the smaller shows I think are more intimate and aren't as overwhelming, because this is still quite overwhelming if you've never been to a show. There's just so much here, as you can see, and just touching and feeling all the beads inspires me to create. As you can see, these beautiful black, jet black crystals, and some of these stones are really spectacular, and they just give me ideas. Sometimes just shopping for beads inspires me. Look at these bone beads, they're all cut. And these I think are some type of a plastic or resin type of a bead, because I know they're not cinnabar, but they're a cinnabar look-alike. They're really beautiful. And look at these hand-cut beads, so pretty. You could see that in a tassel or on the end of something, just with the little elephants on it. And sometimes I just like buying these because someone else made them, and it gives me ideas to incorporate in with my work. And here you can see there's just some different gemstones. Here someone has put together a beaded bead, so you can buy some beaded beads if you're not into doing that kind of thing. There's all sorts of things at these shows, little pearls and pendants. You don't necessarily have to make your own beads to really enjoy a show. Here's some cabochons that you can incorporate in your work, and they're really pretty. Look at, there's some abalone, and this is a pearl type of a piece. I'm not sure whether it's a piece of shell of some sort, but you can see the iridescence and texture in it just naturally. And here's some pieces that are, I think they're Tibetan. They're like little mosaics. And here's some jade that's been cut. You can see how pretty that is, how you can incorporate that really easy into any beadwork. Some chain, lots of metal findings. Well, I'm back from the show, and I thought this was probably a great place to wrap it up since I started here, and I just wanted to show you. I stuck to my budget from labradorite. Little chip beads that are cut, really beautiful. I love labradorite. And then, of course, Madonna beads had those beautiful paper beads, so I had to buy some of those. So you may see some of those in my future gallery videos. But I hope you enjoyed visiting a show, seeing what it's all about, and seeing why I can't give you distributors and companies all the time, because I don't really remember who I purchased some of these things from. If they don't have an online site that I can replenish it with, I don't really pay attention. But I did put all of the vendors below. I hope you had lots of fun, and thank you, John, for letting us come and visit your show, because not all shows will let me film that. Thank you very much to John for letting us come to his show and letting us show all of the vendors and how fun it is to go to a bead show. So if there's one in your area, please go visit. I linked below where the show will be for the rest of the year so that you can go check it out if it's in your area. So I just wanted to bring my little snorter in because she's the one that's been snorting throughout my video. You've got her, the ones that love listening to her, as you can hear her rattling off now. She was in because I had to do a voiceover on this whole video. It was just too loud at the show. It was very busy. People were talking. People had phones. So it was just too much background noise. And the camera picks up background noise more than it picks up actually my voice, as you notice with the dog. She can be 4 feet away from me and it picks that up louder almost than my voice. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Well, I'm back from the show, and I thought this was probably a great place to wrap it up since I started here, and I just wanted to show you. I stuck to my budget, carried that all out on my phone. This was all the seed beads I got. The other things I purchased were, I got some labradorite little chip beads that are cut. Really beautiful. I love labradorite. And then, of course, Madonna beads had those beautiful paper beads, so I had to buy some of those. So you may see some of those in my future gallery videos. But I hope you enjoyed visiting a show, seeing what it's all about, and seeing why I can't give you distributors and companies all the time, because I don't really remember who I purchased some of these things from. If they don't have an online site that I can replenish it with, I don't really pay attention. But I did put all of the vendors below. I hope you had lots of fun, and thank you very much to John for letting us come to his show and letting us show all of the vendors and how fun it is to go to a bead show. So if there's one in your area, please go visit. I linked below where the show will be for the rest of the year so that you can go check it out if it's in your area. So So I just wanted to bring my little snorter in because she's the one that's been snorting throughout my video. You've got her, the ones that love listening to her, as you can hear her rattling off now. She was in because I had to do a voiceover on this whole video. It was just too loud at the show. It was very busy. People were talking. People had phones. So it was just too much background noise. And the camera picks up background noise more than it picks up actually my voice, as you notice with the dog. She can be 4 feet away from me and it picks that up louder almost than my voice. So I hope you enjoyed that. Thanks for watching and have a great day.